What's up, guys? Welcome to Rogue Reviews. My name's Nolan.
My name's Evan.
And tonight we went and saw The Mummy.
Directed by Alex Kurtzman, it has the talents of Tom Cruise, Russell Crowe, Annabelle Wallis, Sophia Boutella, and Jake Johnson.
I think this is one of the more intriguing movies to come out this summer, just because Universal has been just pouring all this marketing into, like, this is the launch of our dark universe, they call it. It even shows up like on the Universal logo at the beginning of the movie. This is their monster cinematic universe. And so I'm like, alright, they obviously have a lot of faith in this movie. They're like pushing full steam ahead. We've heard about other castings for other things, but it starts with The Mummy. And I thought the movie was just okay.
I think this movie that's pretty good. Okay. Yeah, I think that's the best word for it. I mean, it's very bipolar in a sense where you got several genres kind of colliding in here, and the blend isn't quite there. It's trying to be several things, and it doesn't know what to do next. And it's like, oh, now we're going to throw a serious scene, now we're going to be funny. I guess we'll try and make it spooky at the same time. That part definitely is the biggest downfall of the movie, I think.
Yeah, this movie has a very tough time deciding what type of film it wants to be. You're really trying to get a grasp of what they're going for, and it never quite hits its stride. I think until the third act, that's when I felt like, alright, this is what we're settled in for, and then the movie just kind of ends, and you're like, alright, well, I guess that's the start of the dark universe. The things I liked about this movie, Sophia Boutella as the mummy itself, I thought whenever she was on screen, whenever they were going into like her story, that was the most interesting part for me, because that's the cool, fascinating history of everything. She's really grown on me as an actress. She's really improved from just her like tiny role in Kingsman to her role in Star Trek Beyond to this, where she's kind of like the leading villain. I thought she did a really good job. All the stuff with the Prodigium, or I'm just going to call it like the monsters, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., because that's what they are, with Russell Crowe leading them as Dr. Jekyll. That was interesting. The world building I thought was good in this. I think this movie falls into a trap of a lot of movies trying to set up the larger sequels and universe before telling a good story itself.
I agree. There were a lot of parts in this movie, especially when we meet Russell Crowe's character, and you kind of see in the trailer he's the brains, kind of the storyteller with all these, tales of monsters and evil. And through that process, when he's kind of laying out the story for you, you see nods to like all the monster movies that are fated to be on the dark universe that Universal is creating. And that part excited me. That probably the most out of this movie. That's what I enjoyed the most by far, was seeing, oh, there's that monster, oh, there's that monster, and it intrigued me almost like in a sense of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, where we have this collage of all these infamous, just evil monster stories types, and the heroes involved with that. And I'm excited to see what Universal does with the dark universe, not at the cost of this film, because this film, I mean, it's okay. I'm not going to knock their ideas down because this movie was okay. That's what I'm going to take moving forward, is just the excitement for what's to come with the dark universe.
I think the couple things that didn't work well for me in this movie was the comedy. It just completely undercuts everything they're going for. Like, those start to build up tension. They start to build up like the horror element, which I thought they did really well. And then they throw in these comedy bits that it's supposed to bring moments of levity, but they just play off as awkward. Like in comedy, like timing is everything, and they just feel like they let the timing go like a bit too long. And there's multiple moments of that throughout the film, to where even when there is like a good comedy bit, you're just like, alright, well, whatever. And it just completely undercuts everything with the film. I didn't really like Tom Cruise's friend. He keeps popping up in the film, and I'm like, alright, his comedy especially is just one of those things that did not work for me.
The cinematography was pretty good. I thought the action was good. It was well done. It knew that it was a blockbuster in that sense, and it knew it had to throw all the action out there, and it's definitely fun seeing that. And Sophia Boutella is just a queen of that, due to her background in gymnastics and being able to do all these weird, creature movements. She was perfect as the mummy in that. I enjoyed seeing all that in the play, even with Tom Cruise. it was okay. I don't hate the guy, I think, as much as the world does, but I think he was okay. I mean, the acting altogether was okay. No one really stuck out like a sore thumb.
Like, the script wasn't the greatest. Like, there were a couple lines where when people were just like repeating lines over and over again, and it went back to like the comedy where it just was like awkward, so nobody really got a chance to really shine in the movie, except for I feel like Sofia Boutella, just because of like her physicality in the role, really made it her own. And she was creepy to me. Like, I found the Mummy pretty creepy. The CGI in this movie is not the best. There were some choices I wish they had made over other choices that I'm like, you could have done practical makeup here. You could have made maybe a different design here that would have changed like the perception of the film. So that was kind of disappointing from that fact. But overall, like we said, like everything about this movie is just, it's okay. So what would you rate this movie?
I think based on that notion of it being okay, I'm gonna give it a 6. I had an okay time. I was kind of watching the clock at some parts of this film for sure. Like, it didn't flow to where you're sucked in, kind of, you know, enjoying the film. There were parts where it's like, okay, how long is this movie? Is it really that long? And usually it's funny when you think this movie's like super long, it's actually quite short.
Yeah.
But in that sense, I think 6 is okay. No one was terrible, no one was great, and that is the same with everything else, with the music, with the CGI, with all that stuff. Again, the most exciting thing for this movie with me is just the setup for the Dark Universe.
It's always a bit of a pet peeve of mine when all these studios have these ideas for cinematic universes. They put the cart ahead of the horse, and it feels like this movie suffers from that a little bit, where it's just they want to get to the Dark Universe, they want to set up all this stuff, but then they just kind of forgot to build a good Mummy movie to kick that off. And so it's not the greatest start for the Dark Universe, like you said. There's enough in there, like, alright, I want to spend more time in this world, but the Mummy isn't going to be anything that you particularly remember a couple days after. So yeah, I think a 6 would be about right for me as well. Alright guys, what do you guys think of the Mummy? Are you excited for Universal's Dark Universe? Comment below and let us know what you guys think. Make sure to like and subscribe to Rogue Reviews for more stuff. Alright guys, see you next time.
See ya.